Guys, Tetro here. So I just want to make a quick guide on how to price rare items in Path of Exile. So rare items has been quite hard to price for pretty much most of the time, right? Because it's not like unique item, it's so straightforward. Unique item, same name, everyone have the same stats. You just go ahead and type in the name, price it around the same depending on your role as well. But rare items is different because it's a bit of an RNG as well, and most people have like different stats, right? Different roles, different affixes, different stats. So it's very hard to know how to price it. But firstly, before you know how to price the item, you must know what is a good stats you must have on the items. So I actually created a list on my notepad, right, on how to price items. Not price items, I mean like how to identify good rare items. This is very general, okay, super general. There's a huge part of the game is also the meta, right? So for example, you look at Legion 2 weeks ago, everyone playing melee. So usually stats that have a lot more physical damage, a bit more melee style, is actually more expensive than if compared to now, right? So meta and like the league you are playing in actually affects quite a bit on whether the rare item is good or not. But now I'm just gonna talk about the general ones, right? Very general. So okay, before I do that, I want to give you an example on how the base of the item affects the price of the item as well. This is very important to understand, right? So last league was the Necromancer league, right? So there was this item, a lot of people are playing Raise the Spectres, right? So there's this item on the body armor that increase the amount of specters you can have. So this is like a must have if you are running Raise the Spectres. So how does the base affect the price of the item? So firstly, you need to know how is the gem link. Okay, so for Raise Spectres, there's like 5 blue links, I think, if I remember correctly, about 5 to 4, a lot of blue, right? So let's say we look at the first items. Even if like the stats is like fucking insane, right? It's not worth much and most people wouldn't buy it. Let me tell you why. Alright, so let's say if your Raise Spectre is 5 blue, look at this base item, Strength and Dex. It's almost impossible to get 5 blues on this item. So if you buy this, you spend chromatics, you get like the crafting table, use all your chromatics. It's not even worth, right? So let's say we look at intelligence base plus 1 number of specters. Let's put 100. Oh, I put on strength. I was wondering. Intelligence means high chance of getting blue sockets. Look at this. Even though the stats is like shitty, look at 4 life, like it's easily a few exalts, 1 exalt. Really good stats, you can get more than that. Alright, you can get like fucking 3, 10 exalts, depends on how good your item is. Alright. So the base of the items is also very important on how the price of the item is affected. So understanding that, we're gonna look at the stats. These 2 on top is usually a must-have for all the items I gotta talk about. Usually amulet, boots, ring, your belt, helmet, and your body armor. Usually these first 2 stats is a must-have most of the time. Unless your other items have like a lot of damage, you can forego some resistance, but the first one, life, is the most important. I can put star here. Alright, it's the most important. So if you actually see your item having life, maximum life, it's actually really good. About 70 plus above is usually quite nice. Resistance is also quite important on most items, I would say. So I can give it some stars here. Resistance, usually 2 of them is quite, means it's quite worth something. If you get 3, it's actually fucking tri-res. So tri-res means your item is actually fucking insane. It's actually really insane. Alright. So for boots, there's every item there's some difference between what stats you want. For boots, you want the above life, resistance, you want movement speed. Usually the optimal one is 30%, but 20% is good enough that you can earn decent amount of currency. There's also one more mod that I forgot to mention, is chance to dodge. Chance to dodge spells or attacks. I think this one is also pretty good. Usually it's about 6%, right? If you actually get this, it's actually big bucks, okay? It's actually quite insane. Then amulet. For amulet, I think base affect quite a lot. The base, usually you want like citrine, which is dex plus intelligence, I believe. Then onyx is like attribute to everything, and turquoise is dex plus strength. So you want the above, you want some stats, basically attributes. You either have strength, dex or intelligence 35, because most of the time, right, amulets are used to cover up attributes you're missing. But I just want to make sure you guys understand that it doesn't mean you need to have you need to have everything here in order to means that the item is good. Like for example, if you have a lot of damage or a lot of life, you don't need to have stats. You can still make a lot of currency off the item. So these are just some general things to look out for, alright? Stats are usually quite good on the amulet. Damage for flat and percentage. Why did I put N? Percentage. Wait, what? Percentage, right? Damage, usually flat damage, like add physical, add cold, or like cold damage, like percentage. All of these are really good on the amulet because they just add something to it. For amulet, life is pretty good. Life is a must-have. For me, I would say that life is a must-have for all the items. Resistance, somewhat true. Alright. Unless you have a lot of damage and important things to compensate for the lack of resistance on the item, most of the time resistance is quite important as well. Ring, 2-stone ring is generally the more important one. It's much favored because it's actually giving you 2 resistance on the base on its own. The other rings, like for example the mana ring, coral ring, all these are kind of niche. Usually 2 stones means that you can get quite a bit more benefits, right? So more people like 2-stone rings over the other. Steel ring is generally very good, and opal ring is kind of good as well. Steel ring does a lot of damage, right? So you want the above life, some rest if you need. Flat damage, usually add flat damage, like add flat physical, add flat cold, lightning. These are all good stuff. And life gain is a bit weird, but it's good. Usually melee they like life gain, but you still need to check out the price, right? Belt, I would say leather is much favored in general, and abyssal belt is pretty good. But abyssal kinda hard to get, right? I don't think I spelled abyssal correctly. I think it's like this. You want the above stats and elemental damage. Usually 30% or like 25% above, right? It's really good. Helmet is interesting because helmet you can get some stats like socketed gems plus is supported by something. You know, it's like supported by blah blah blah. These are all really good. You also want the above stats: life, resist. Helmet, if you go to like really high end helmets, there's things like minus resistance of nearby enemies, like for fire, I think. So this is also really good, but usually above stats is good enough for you to check the price. Glove is also above plus cold plus flat damage, alright, plus flat damage. So the reason why I put energy shield and hybrid down at the bottom of my notepad is to say that energy shield differs quite a bit, because you want resistance on the item, sort of. You want resistance most of the time. And you also want to look at the general energy shield. Usually body armor, you want to get 450 above. It's worth quite a bit of currency. 500 is worth quite a lot. Every item for energy shield actually differs quite a bit. Similar to amulet for energy shield, it's also you want like flat energy shield, you want percentage energy shield. Hybrid is also like almost the same, but you want life on energy shield base, or you just want both stats. So both of it is kind of weird. Probably I'll make a next video about it, but this is how you generally identify good rare items. And on how to price it, you just go to the trade website, put in the stats that you want to find out. For example, you want to find out how much is a life item is worth. So type in life. You have 70 life. The item is a boots. So type in boots, enter. You look at the price, and like if your stats is better, you can price it higher. Your stat is slightly worse, price it slightly lower. So that's about it for the basic guide of identifying and pricing rare items. It's very important on how to price rare items, because you may find something good and you don't know how to price it. So it's very important to not get scammed. Alright.